Hello, my name is Vincent Michel. I work at Agroscope in Switzerland. I was member of the EIP-AGRI focus group on soil-borne diseases, and I will present you the results of this group. The full title of this focus group was IPM Practices for Soil-Borne Diseases Suppression in Vegetables and Arable Crops. The reason for this focus group is following. Soil-borne diseases are major yield-limiting factors in vegetables and arable crops. They are difficult to control, and applied knowledge on suppression techniques seems to be limited. For this reason, we had two main questions to answer. The first one is how to suppress soil-borne diseases, mainly caused by fungi and nematodes, in vegetables and arable crops. And the second is how to enhance cross-fertilization between different crops and agricultural systems. So, how was this done? There were two meetings of this focus group. The first one in Alicante in Spain in 2014, and half a year later the second meeting in Haarlem, the Netherlands in 2015. 20 experts and 4 facilitators from 13 countries gathered at these places. The first meeting was to define the problems and to distribute the tasks, mainly the writing of the mini papers. During the second meeting, these mini papers were presented, discussed in the group, and final conclusions were drawn. And you can find them now in the final report of the focus group. The group chose an integral approach to soil health. We had first to define what is IPM, and we used therefore the European Directive 128/2009 CE, which states that the main element of this definition is that chemical, prophylactic, preventive treatments should not be applied, such as the use of methyl bromide or, as this is now banned, other chemical fumigants. Therefore, we developed the principle of a soil health strategy that combines the following 4 elements. The first element is prevention. Using certified seeds, healthy seeds, and planting material that is healthy or that has to, with sanitation, to be made healthy. Weed control is very important because weeds can be host plants for soil-borne pathogens and nematodes. The second element is monitoring. With soil sampling and bioassays and other methods, the soil has to be checked before planting to be sure that there is no soil-borne diseases in the soil. Crop rotation is the third element. The frequency and the sequence of the crops grown are very important. Also the use of green manures, what kind of green manure and when placed in the rotation are very important. And if possible, using resistant varieties is also a very important element, a part of this crop rotation element. The fourth element are all the additional methods and techniques that can be applied to reduce the soil-borne diseases pressure. Grafting on resistant rootstock is well known in greenhouse production. Using biological control agents is now more and more possible with commercial products available. The biofumigation, the anaerobic soil dismestation ASD, and inundation methods are applied when you have already high pressure in your soil of soil-borne diseases. Compost and organic amendments are more used in a preventive way, so they stimulate the soil life. And the soilization method is a method for countries in the southern part of Europe, also to reduce the inoculum of soil-borne pathogens and nematodes. In the focus group, we also defined general fail factors and hurdles, reasons why these promoted 4 elements will not be applied or not sufficiently. The first one is a too high frequency of profitable crops, for economic reasons, of course. So typically growing tomato and other solanaceous crops only in a greenhouse. Second point is lack of awareness. Often growers and also advisors are not really aware of the problem of soil-borne diseases. There's also a lack of knowledge and infrastructure. So typically there are not many laboratories that offer a service for the diagnostic of soil-borne diseases. The lack of knowledge of indicators that predict the efficacy of preventive soil health measures are also an important point. Growers would like to know if the investment in such methods that takes money and time and resources for them also have also good efficacy. In the agricultural education systems, often soil-borne diseases are not highlighted or not enough. There is also the problem of brain drain of knowledge, mainly that now young researchers work a lot in the lab using molecular methods, but there are less and less people in the field that can recognize problems directly in the real world and also know what to do. The free trade of planting material can be a problem if planting material can be contaminated with soil-borne pathogens and nematodes. And farm-saved seed is perhaps good to save money, but as this seed is not controlled for health status, it can also be a problem. And finally, the ownership situation of the soil is an important fail factor. Why should a grower invest resources, time, money to have a healthy soil if he's not sure that the next year he will still be the one that will be growing his crops on the soil? So what needs to be done? The members of the focus group created a list of 28 research needs from practice. And they can be found in Annex 7 of the final report. A few examples are the development of sampling strategies and diagnostic tests to improve monitoring. Our indicators to predict the suppressing quality of compost and other organic amendments. Also important would be to know the host state of green manures and the development of new green manures, or the defining region-specific criteria for anaerobic soil disinfestation. We also made a list of 30 suggestions for operational groups, which can be found in Annex 8 of the final report. Again, here are just a few examples, like the on-farm production of compost and compost quality indicators, on-farm implementation of green manures and biofumigation crops, developing tools of soil quality management, or the recognition of symptoms, developing and testing diagnostic tools together with farmers. I would like to conclude with a last slide. It's on the Best for Soil thematic network. 4 members of the focus group Soil-Borne Diseases submitted the Best for Soil thematic network proposal to the Horizon 2020 program. The main goal of this network is the promotion of 4 best practices and the use of sound crop rotations. The proposal was accepted and the project started in fall 2018. You see on this slide 4 members of the focus group that are now member of the Best for Soil network, and you will find more information on the network on www.bestforsoil.eu. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you a good soil health workshop now.